the time they are way too old. I've not been touched in many years. Have a life building up like of trust has kept me here. Lonely days keep me confined, can break the shell I've been denied. But somewhere out there she must hide, the one that I can feel inside. She blows, don't wanna pay. I need cheap love. Cupid used to spear, don't wanna shed a tear, but just wants too much when you can spend on love. When you can spend on love. When you can spend on love. As years went by, the lights went out. Had no guide through the night. I got lost inside an urban crowd. Concrete fields that will not end, and the windows reflect who I know to be my only friend. Lonely days kept me confined, can break the spell I've been denied. But somewhere out there she must hide, the one that I can feel inside. Cheap love, don't wanna pay. I need cheap love. When Cupid used to spear, don't wanna shed a tear, but just wants too much when you can spend on love. Cheap love, don't wanna pay. I need cheap love. When Cupid used to spear, don't wanna shed a tear, but just wants too much when you can spend on love. I'm not made of solid gold.
Hey, pedal people, nerds, nerdillas, nerddezzles, nerdy grandmas, nerdy grandpas, or infants, I do not care. Let's just hang out and have fun talking about pedals, which is a very nerdy thing to do. They're boxes that make E sounds. In this case, this doesn't. This squishes the E. Yeah, Walrus Audio again. We're looking at the whole range. It's a huge undertaking, and I'm up for the task. Hey, X. That wasn't X, that was Bruno. Wherever X is. X, where are you? Xy! Ah, because he runs away, you know. Goes in the yard, climbs the fence. X, come here, come here. Where were you? Where were you, puppy? Huh? Where were you? It's okay, I'll just have to check on you once in a while so you don't climb the fence. Bastard dog. He's a cutie. So, bye-bye, X. Go. Yeah. Or stay here. That's also fine. So, we're looking at the Deep Six, and we're looking at it, we're listening to it with this brand new, aged Maybach Thomann a T-style guitar, which is really beautiful. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, trust me. We're going to look at it in more depth, and we're going to use this in quite a few videos so you get a feel for it with different gear, different pedals, because I'm thinking that's the best way to demo a guitar. What's the point in playing one video with it? You'll get to see it regularly. Now, we're going into by myself, me and the dogs. I'm going into the Deep 6 compressor, going into the Messner, the Bellwether, and then the Descent Reverb, all in front of the amp, which is a Joyo Beale Street 12 watt tweed style amp with 6V6 power amp tubes, not that we know what that means. And that's going into a 412 simulated cab in the 2 Notes Torpedo Studio. Thank you, Guillaume from France, for that. So, compression. Difficult. What does compression do? Some people don't get it. I'm looking at you, Mr. 64. Some people write, I don't know what compression does. Well, even if you understand what it does, you might not know why you need it. For me, compression is something that you primarily want on clean sounds, because clean sounds have a big dynamic range. Distortion usually compresses by itself, so you don't really need compression there. The more distorted your sound, the more even your waveform when you record, you can see the evenness of the waveform, so it's usually compressed when it's distorting or overdriving. A compressor does the following. Once you hit a certain threshold, which in this case the sustain knob will do, once you go over a certain level, so you're playing, and then you hit a note that's louder than this threshold. At this point, the compressor will say, I'm not letting all that level through. For each decibel coming through, I'm actually letting only half that through. Meaning it's still getting louder, but not by as much as it's getting louder. It's actually getting only half as much louder as you're actually getting. That would be a 2-to-1 ratio, compression ratio. If you have an 8-to-1, that means for every 8 dB that you're getting louder over that threshold level, sustain knob, for every 8 dB, it's actually only giving you 1. So it is still having a dynamic range, but the dynamic range has been reduced. Why do we do this? Well, it's very simple. If we don't have those spikes anymore, where it's getting really loud, we can actually take that whole signal and make it louder, meaning all the quiet stuff is gonna get loud. So yeah, you don't have the same dynamics anymore, but all your quiet stuff is coming up, meaning you will have more sustain. A note that trails off and gets very quiet, now trails off and gets very quiet, but that quiet stuff I'm raising up in level. And all of a sudden it sounds as if my note stays loud longer. The controls we have is level, that would be your makeup gain, meaning how loud do I want my compressed signal to be. Sustain will be your threshold, at what point does it start to compress. Blend, that is cool, that means how much, it's a mix knob. So I can keep the compressed signal in there, but still have the uncompressed signal. Why would I want that? Well, I could have the spikiness of my attack. I could also play it, but I'm rather simulating it. You know, like that. Kong was like, no. I could have that, but still have that fullness of the compressed sound underneath. So I can mix it in. And then attack is, well, that is a big question. Is that the attack of how fast does the threshold, how fast does the compressor compress once you're hitting the threshold, or is it the attack of the guitar? What are we talking about? How fast does a compressor attack, or how much attack is being preserved by the compressor? Difficult shit, I know. I'm sorry, but that's just the world of compression for you. So here's my clean signal. Yeah, I've got the descent in there, I know, because it's fun. So we're gonna hit it and see what happens. You can see that the noise is coming up. That's not because it's noisy, but because it makes everything that's quiet louder. So now there's almost no makeup gain, which is actually how we should listen to it to begin with. So it's not getting louder, because louder always sounds better. It's just compressing. Right now, it's actually just killing my signal. It's squishing it to death. If I crank up sustain even more, it's gonna do that even more. So, for me, it really shines when you're not blending it in so much, so when you're actually not having too much of the compression signal in there, but when you go like 50-50, that's when the Deep 6 for me is at its best. Because I still have my beautiful guitar sound in there, but it gets fatter from underneath. Let's turn the Deep 6 back on, come on. Some bellwether? All of a sudden it's like, where's my fullness? Well, exactly. So squishing more, but mixing it in less. And because we have it, let's turn on the Messner just for fun. So here we are again. We're laughing from the other video where we talked about rubber rings. We're not going to do this here. Watch the Messner video if you want to know about what Colt has on his hole. Here we have the Deep Six. Again,
Yes.
a beautiful design. That's a guy that they hire who does all the things by hand and stuff. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Deep Six, where does the name come from? Why? Compressor, deep, underwater, what's the deal?
Exactly. Just, when you're that far underwater, things are a little compressed, a little heavy, and dangerous to be in if you don't have the right equipment or training. So it's just the visual of being under a mass of water.
Okay.
So it's kind of what the compressor sounds like. So
I love the seafoam blue with red. That's daring.
yeah.
But it's nice.
Yeah.
So here's my thing with the Deep Six. It's a nice compressor. It compresses. But
It does.
it's one of your big sellers, I've been told. And a lot of people say, I bought the Deep Six, that has replaced my compressors that I have. I just talked to a guy on Facebook who said, I just bought the Julia and the Deep Six, and the Deep Six is my new compressor. Everything else I had is gone now. What would you say is the special thing about the Deep Six, from your perspective?
I think it appeals to a lot of compression users, because some guys really want a very squeezed or crushed sound, and so you're able to achieve that with the Deep Six. But some people just want a little bit of evening out, to add just a little touch of perfection to the sound. And so the glory of the Deep Six is really, and the magic's in the blend control, being able to blend your effective signal with your dry signal. So you can get anything from just real subtle compression all the way to chicken pick and crush, So I think it's what a lot of people really like about it. It has some. You go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a stupid question. Oftentimes, when you have an attack control on a compressor, I'm very confused whether when it's all the way counterclockwise, do I get more attack, or do I get more attack as I increase it? Because it could be either way. I'm used to studio compressors, 1176 or whatever, and sometimes it's, more attacks to the left, sometimes more attacks to the right. How does this work here?
Turn it clockwise, more attack.
Clockwise, more attack, which means slower attack of the compressor.
Right. Exactly.
Because for me personally, I would like, and I know that ruins it a bit, but just a plus and a minus to the left and right, because it could be the other way.
Yeah.
Attack.
It could be. That's
because attack could mean
these are so helpful.
Attack could mean the attack of the compressor, meaning faster or slower, or how much attack is being retained in your guitar, more or less. So just by writing attack, you don't necessarily know. I can't read that.
I'm taking notes. This is great. And that's something that we're really, after the Jupiter came out, it was kind of like it had the bass toggle. And it's like, well, which way is the bass cut to allow more bass through?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a great question.
Yes.
That's a great question.
No, everything else makes sense,
Okay, gotcha.
but people don't get compression. They really don't, which is why compressor videos of mine are always long. As this one, we're probably like in hour 3 of this one right now, because I try to explain compression. And so the attack can mean obviously the attack of your guitar. If your compressor starts hitting faster, so once you hit the threshold, we've talked about threshold earlier in this video somewhere, I hope, then your compressor starts kicking in, which means your attack is preserved, and then the compression comes up from below. But it could also mean, and that means the compressor attacks later, and that could be the attack time of the compressor, but it could also mean the attack of your guitar. Is there more or is there less? So the word itself is confusing. Cool.
Yes, it is. So, which a plus minus would really visually clear that up. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
We'll have to write you in on future sales.
Yeah, right. Blend's a great thing. And as I said, many people really dig this thing. And in the track I did for it that you guys heard about 3 hours ago,
so good.
I used it more subtly, but actually, if you want to hear this thing spanking the shit out of Strats, check out the Vanguard track, because on the Vanguard track there's only 2 guitars and both of them are using this, and it's just super mega attack the whole time, volume all the time, no matter how subtly I play. So on the Vanguard track you can hear this really cool. And now we're gonna go without Colt and bitch about this behind his back in my 2 cents coming up now. Thank you, Colt.
See ya.
So do I think, frankly, it wouldn't be my first choice for compression. I gotta say that I personally, it's hard to say. I like what the Carl Martin compressor can give me. TC's Hypergravity has a lot of options, but is a digital box. Always kind of feels a little bit weird. It's hard to describe why. Personally, I'm in love with a Diamond compressor. This disappointed me when you go too high on the blend, because it squishes your signal and your guitar doesn't sound natural anymore. It's just squishing it the whole time, every time you're attacking. But when you go noon and below, so you're blending it in, which is the thing that it does extremely well. When you're blending in that compressed signal, you could hear it. It makes your guitar just fuller. And when you turn it off, you don't want to turn it off anymore. So that's the kind of pedal you want. You want a pedal that you wish you had on all the time. It works beautifully, as you could hear, pushing the Messner a little bit more, making that a lot fuller. So for a guitar that's thinnish, like this Maybach Telemann, because it's a T-style guitar, this is brilliant, because it makes your sound fuller and richer. Just now during the filming of this demo, I realized that the blend knob is really where the trick is, and where this shines. So I'm gonna play with it a little bit more, and maybe it can beat the Diamond. I don't know. It's tough. It's a toughie, but it's definitely a good piece of gear if you're not overdoing it with the blend knob. So be careful with your blend, and then get it. See you guys. Oh, links underneath the video, subscribe, all that stuff. Why do I have to say this? Because apparently you guys are not subscribing enough. I have 70% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribers. What's wrong with you people? Come on, subscribe and hang out with me on a regular basis. And all the links you need underneath the video. Bye-bye.